Oh, it is already 47 AM PM. Head on that business at all times, popping off as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, an exceptionally dark period in South Sydney's history. The 2003 Women's Spoon going to South Sydney, and so you don't miss any crucial rugby league information watching this video all the way through to the end, as per always. So, when I say extremely dark period in South Sydney's history, as we all know, they are the pride of the league, having won 21 premierships, more than any other team. We do all know that, but unfortunately, the years 1990 up to 2006 was an extremely horrible time for them. They didn't make the finals once between 1990 up to 2006, and they were, of course, excluded for 2 years, the years 2000 and 2001, before the fans, of course, rallied and got them back in the comp, as we all know. And also during this time, 2002 to 2006, these 5 years, South picked up the wooden spoon this year, 2003, also in 2004, and also in 2006. In 2005, they only avoided the wooden spoon by 3 competition points, and it was Newcastle who got it. We'll do that video soon enough. And in 2002, South actually won less games than any other team and only avoided the wooden spoon because the Bulldogs had 37 points taken away for a salary cap breach, which relegated Bulldogs to the wooden spoon. So at this point in time, South got 3 wooden spoons in 5 years. It was actually really close to being 5 consecutive wooden spoons, unfortunately. Yeah, it was nearly 5 consecutive wooden spoons. Unthinkable for such an almighty team. A team with such a long history of success over many, many decades. Before, of course, in 2007, South finally made their first finals appearance since 1989, and they slowly built themselves back up and won the comp in 2014 when they beat Bulldogs 30 points to 6 in the 2014 grand final. But this period here, very, very dark indeed. So I'm going to say the same thing for the next video in 2004, South wooden spoon, and also for the 2006 wooden spoon going to South. So I'm going to be saying the same thing to introduce each video. And the biggest problem they had was that they were a mess off the field financially, and off the field everything was a mess, and they just didn't have many, they didn't have many high quality players that could compete with all the other teams on a regular basis, and most of the time they were conceding 30 points per game in defence. On average, they were conceding around 30 points for these 5 consecutive seasons, and that makes it impossible to win games on a regular basis. In defence, you need to be conceding like 18, 19 or 20 points per game maximum. That gives you a chance of winning games and making the finals and maybe making the top 4. But they're conceding 30 points per game on average for these 5 years. This year in particular, 2003, South had scored 457 points in attack, but conceded 758. So for and against was minus 301. Minus 301 for and against. 758 points conceded from 24 games played. That was 31.5 points per game South were conceding in defence, and that's the biggest reason why they only won 3 games in the whole year. And in their 3 in particular, embarrassing moments near the end of the season, they conceded 3 horrendous scorelines just to sum up their season misery. So, getting into the stats, South in 2003, 24 games, 25 rounds but 1 bye, so 24 games, only 3 wins and 21 losses. 457 points scored, 758 conceded, like I already said, for and against minus 301. And the scorers, at least the scorers did a little something. The top try scorer, you probably might have guessed that it was Nathan Merritt, who despite the team struggling, used to pick up tries left, right and centre. So Nathan Merritt got 10 tries for South in 2003. And there was also the 5'8" Justin Smith, who got 9 tries for South in 2003. And the leading point scorers, those 2 players again as well. Justin Smith, with his 9 tries, also got 47 goals, 130 points altogether. Definitely impressive in a team that got the wooden spoon. And Nathan Merritt, with his 10 tries, chipped in 1 goal exactly. That was 42 points. And they had another player, Owen Craigie, who was at the back end of his career. Owen Craigie, of course, played with Newcastle throughout the 1990s and was a very good player for them. But he was past his best at this point with South. And Owen Craigie could only manage 4 tries, 14 goals and 1 field goal, 45 points for South in 2003. So then, like I said, pretty simple. Most of the time, South were conceding like 30-something, sometimes 40-something points per game most of the time. So that's why they lost nearly every game. The only games they did win, one was in the sun. In round 5, they'd beaten West Tigers 32-22 at the old Sydney Football Stadium. In round 13, one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen, South Sydney, languishing in last place, beat heavyweights Melbourne Storm 41-14. Ridiculous 27-point thumping of one of the glamour teams, Melbourne Storm, 41-14, in round 13, 2003. And then in round 22, 2003, South beat West Tigers 18-16 at Leichhardt. So at least they managed to beat West Tigers twice. There was one team that had the wood over in the year 2003. But South's embarrassing moments, like I said, embarrassing moments near the end of the year. So while they had this real win over Tigers in round 22, before and after it, 2003 round 21, humiliatingly went down to Bulldogs 62-12 at the old Sydney Football Stadium, 62 points. In round 24, went down to Cowboys 60 points to 8 up at Willows, which was Cowboys' home ground at the time. And in the last round, round 25, I remember this game, I remember watching this one actually. I thought, okay, South's first Cronulla game at the old Sydney Football Stadium. Cronulla, even if they won, weren't going to make the finals for 2003, but they were safe from the wooden spoon at the same time. Whereas South already had the wooden spoon wrapped up, so there was nothing but pride to play for. So I was thinking maybe the teams are going to throw the ball around willy-nilly, try and score off every play. But I wasn't expecting 88 points in one game. More than a point per minute. 2003 round 25, Cronulla 54, South 34. 54-34. 88 points in one game. Both teams forgetting how to make a tackle. So that was it. I think that was extremely embarrassing for both teams, not just South. So there you go. That's pretty much all there is to it. Like I said, for South's 2004 wooden spoon and 2006 wooden spoon, which are coming up very soon. I'll obviously start with the same introduction. The only difference will just be the specific players who got specific points in specific games that I do end up mentioning. But for the most part, South Sydney 2002 up to 2006, their first 5 years as a reinstated team, after being excluded in 2000-2001. The first 5 years, 3 of them they got the wooden spoon, and the other 2 they were lucky to just avoid it before they finally got it together in the year 2007. So there you go. If you're still watching all the way through to the end, as per requested, thank you so much for ongoing, polarising, brutal, malevolent support, pungent, yes, purulent support, and thank you. And thank you for staying on the grind all the time. Your Royal Day, 47, 2 to 1.